Well, I think it may be time for a update on my condition with my severe necrotizing pancreatitis. As you can see, I still got food. Let me introduce you to my pump. That's the pump. It is putting in 70 milliliters per hour through this tube from this bag. This is my food. This is my nutrition. Same, well, here, right here. 5 XRTF. What happened is, let's see if I can find a pen here. Now, let's see if I can show you this. Here's the pancreas, right? Now, what happened is, if you look, the middle section, right about where my finger is, died, okay? And it left a tail and it left a head. Now, the pancreas drains into the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. This feeding tube, in order for the pancreas to heal, you have to shut down the pancreas. There's only one way to do that. Shutting down the pancreas requires shoving this feeding tube all the way down the stomach, around, back in over here, down over here, past the duodenum into the jejunum. So my tube is like right there. It ends like right there. Okay, so that's where it's putting the food. Now what that does is it shuts this down. Well, after the 2 weeks of the old video, the video that was posted before of me in the hospital, they had to wait for a cyst to form. What basically happens is the dead material in here was just like this liquid just floating around in my belly. Okay, the body puts a cyst around it or a balloon around it, and you have to wait for that balloon to gain a thick wall before anything gets done. So that's why it's been so long I've been on a feeding tube. I've been on a feeding tube for, a month. And, well, then what they do is they come in here. Well, they were going to come through the stomach because my stomach was sitting right on top of the pancreas. But they figured it would be better to come down here into the duodenum, and poke a hole between the duodenum and the cyst, okay, to drain it. And when they drained it, you're gonna love this. When they drained it, it drained out 2 liters of pancreatic bile liquid. Whatever you want to call it, all these little bits and pieces and whatever. And then what they do, 2 liters, yes, you heard me right, 2 liters. But what they do is they put a stent between the duodenum and the pancreas. And they allow that pancreas to finish draining into the duodenum, which you can about imagine it's going through my system and what's coming out the other end. Not real pretty. But I need anywhere from 2 to 6 or 7 more drainages to get the pancreas down to a normal state. And then I got gallbladder issues, and I got pancreas, or what's the other one? Oh, there's something else in there. Anyway, gallbladder issues. But, yeah, that's what's going on. So I'm hooked up to this thing. And it runs down the back of the throat. I don't know if you can. Anyway, it runs down the back of the throat. And every time I move, it's hard not to gag. It really is. It's really hard not to gag. But, oh, I'll show you my bed. How I have to sleep. You're going to love this. Oh, what I'll tell you is I spent that first 2 weeks in the hospital, and then I spent the first 2 weeks in the hospital from the video before. I'll put a link or something to the other video or wherever. And they sent me home without the nose tube, without the enteral feeding. Well, what that was supposed to do, I was supposed to eat, low-fat foods and dark in here. Supposed to eat low-fat foods and clear things. But oh Lord, after 2 weeks of being home, the pancreas started back up again, and I had to go back to the emergency, where I spent another week in the hospital. They sent me back with a nose tube. I was out for a couple weeks, and then I had to go back for 1 day because the pancreas was acting up, the pain. And well, what they did is they sent me home with, we're not comfortable doing this procedure. We're going to send you to Mayo Clinic, where they are nonchalant about the whole deal. They're like, no problem. We'll just do this procedure. I'm like, okay, whatever. But here's my sleeping arrangement. See how the bed's jacked up? I have to sleep at like a 30-degree angle, so the food doesn't back up into my stomach. So it doesn't set off the pancreas again. Now I'm on clears again, which is very easy on the pancreas. But I can tell if I've had, like eat too much or whatever. It just starts to get upset and full in the belly again. But yeah, I've got my pole here. Hold on a second. Oh, dumbass. I'll set the camera down. There you go. That's my pole. That's my my feeding pole at home. But yeah. Don't know what else to say, other than thanks for watching. I want to show you something really cool here for a second. Watch the tube. That happens every time I swallow and talk. Isn't that gross?